This is Change Your Mindset Podcast, the podcast that helps change your life by helping change the mindset of the 99% into the 1% mindset. Here's your host, Adrian Gomez.
Welcome back to another podcast episode of Change Your Mindset. As always, I'm your host, Adrian Gomez. The world we live in nowadays is pretty interesting. We don't have savages anymore. We don't have men that are willing to get things done. We don't have men who train hard when they're at the gym, trying to improve, trying to get better, trying to overall be a better human being. I don't see men who are ruthless, who are focused, and have tunnel vision. You don't see that anymore. All you see is men that are distracted, easily manipulated, and have no self-control. That's what I see nowadays. Men aren't savages anymore. The term being used in a good way. Savages are willing to get things done no matter what. They're not going to complain. They're not going to whine. They're going to get things done. They're going to be focused. They're going to be consistent. They're going to be disciplined. But I hardly see that anymore. And the best example I always give is at the gym. And I see it nonstop. So bodybuilding back in the day used to be called the golden age, golden era. Guys used to be in the 60s and 70s when men would work hard and train intensely to obviously have a good physique, get better, and they would push each other for they can improve and get better. And you would see them in videos screaming, yelling, focus, discipline, motivating each other, obviously calling each other's names for they can improve. But at the end of the day, they would get better, no matter what. They weren't distracted. They weren't easily manipulated. They were training hard. And that's how it was back in the day. And now, compared to today's society, when you go to the gym, you still see men training. Actually, I wouldn't even call it training. I would just say I see men at the gym because they're not training. They're not working hard. They're not being savages. This is what I see. Men who go to the gym, they're there. Definitely, they are there. But they're not going hard. They're not pushing themselves. You don't see them in their faces going to the extreme and going past their limit. You don't see that. You see men talking away, whether it's to their friends or trying to talk to girls, or you just see them on their phones, scrolling, texting, laughing, smiling. That's what you see nowadays. These aren't savages. These are just men at the gym. Yeah, you go there just because you're at the gym doesn't mean you work out. When you work out, you train, you push yourself to the limit, you go through excruciating pain, torture, and suffering, because that's how you grow. If you're not doing any of those, you're not growing. No matter how many times you go to the gym, no matter how long you're there, doesn't matter. If you're not pushing yourself, if you're not hurting, if you're not trying to grow. You can see when people are training and trying to get better. You see it in their faces. They're going past the limit. They make grunting sounds, or they're actually making facial expressions that you know they are pushing themselves past the limit. That's you know when someone's training and trying to get better. That's how it used to be back in the day. Men were actually going through physical pain before they can develop and grow new muscles. But nowadays, you just see men do one set, and then they pull out their phones, and now it's phone time. Text away, scroll, put the phone back in their pocket, do another set, finish that, phone time again, and do that same routine again, and again, and again. And we call these men, which is a damn shame. That's why the world needs savages. Because if we ever do go into another world war, and most people already think we are going to be in World War III, the men nowadays going to war is scary. Are they going to complain and whine, will be on their phones while they're out in the battlefield. It's scary. Compared back in the days in World War One, World War Two, men were actually men. Men sacrificed, they went through pain, torture, because they had no choice. But nowadays, men are lazy, don't want to do anything because life is too easy. Because everything they need and want is on their phone. Why try to get better? Why try to improve when you have a device that does everything for you? It keeps you distracted, keeps you into the zombie state, and you'll never improve. And fighting an army, possibly like China or Russia, with the men we have nowadays, that's a scary thought. That's a war I don't think we will win. Because you see boys in Russia, they're out there in the cold, training, they do some crazy stuff. In China, they're having kids building guns and how to shoot and how to actually train and fight. But here in America, boys and men are deciding if they are a woman or a girl. They are deciding if they want to be an influencer or the next Bitcoin or crypto millionaire. So do we even have a chance in a World War III? I probably don't think so. That's a scary thought. Because you see it in the gyms, and you would think at the gym, that's where you would see men be men. Men being savages, going hard, improving, pushing each other, calling each other names before they can get better. You don't see that. You go in gyms nowadays, everyone's on their phone, talking, going through the motions. Why even bother wasting your time being there? But the golden age of bodybuilding, 60s and 70s, go look at those videos. You see men pushing tremendous amount of weight, going through excruciating pain and suffering, torture. You see those videos and you see the difference in now today's society. That's to tell you a lot. Now we don't have savages anymore. That's what the world needs now more than ever. Since everyone's addicted to technology, everyone's depressed, everyone has anxiety, everyone feels lonely. Who cares? At the end of the day, just men be savages. How we used to be back in the day. But society has made us humanized, normalized, weak, pathetic. That's how it is, unfortunately, nowadays. I don't know if I would call men nowadays. Yeah, there are still men that are savages, very few left. Men that are actually warriors. Men that you actually want to go battle with and you feel like they would have your back. They wouldn't turn the other way or complain, whine, like most nowadays. That's what I always push people to do hard work, to get better, to be the best version of yourself. Because nobody else wants to do it. That's how weak our society is. If you want to get better, if you want to improve, it's going to cost you a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, a lot of torture. But at the end of the day, you will be rewarded. Because that's how it works. Doing things that you do not want to do is what makes you get better. Is what makes you improve. Is what makes you get to your dreams and your accomplishments. Whether you want to do it or not, do it. Because that's what it's all about. And going back to the golden era of bodybuilding, 60s, 70s, majority of people were in shape. Yes, most of bodybuilders back then would take steroids because they would compete. But overall, majority of the people during that era were fit and were healthy. Nowadays, you go into gyms, everybody's fat most of the time. Everyone's obese. No one's trying to really improve, to be honest, because they're there all the time sometimes and they look exactly the same. Or they'll go there for a little bit and just sit down on their phones. What's the point? Nobody's trying to compete with each other. They just go through the motions. Another example is back then was in the movies. You would see Bruce Lee in his movies, obviously he was fit. You would see The Rocky movies, where Sylvester Stallone was fit and still is to this day. Arnold Schwarzenegger in his Terminator movies and other movies, he was fit. All these people took care of themselves and had pride in themselves. Most of them were savages. They didn't care how everyone else viewed them. They did the opposite of what everybody else did. Because at the end of the day, those men are willing to get things done, no matter what. Having that savage mindset. If you're a man listening to this podcast right now, just think about this. If you go to the gym and you're working out, or just say you're on your phone like majority of people do at the gym nowadays, what goes through a girl's mind when she sees you on their phone? Do you think she's thinking in her head, man, look at that guy be on his phone. Dang, look how fast he can type. Look how much he can scroll. Do you think that impresses a woman? Think about that, honestly. Or do you think a woman's going to see you training hard, trying to improve, trying to get better? You think in her mind, she would say, dang, man, that guy's going hard. He's trying to get better. Which scenario do you think would impress a woman more? You being on your phone, or you actually training to get better? Just think about that. If I was a woman, if I saw a guy on his phone at the gym, I think that guy's a bum. Because you're at the gym to work out, to get a better physique, to be a better man. But no, they're on their phone. I would think that guy's a bum if I was a girl. And if I see a guy working hard, sweating, training, going through excruciating pain, suffering, and torture, I'd probably be a man. That's a real man. That's a guy who's trying to get better. That would impress me if I was a woman. But stuff like this, I just doesn't make sense. Why guys think this is okay. It's okay being on your phones. It's okay being average. It's okay being fat. It's okay being a bum. It's okay doing nothing with your life. Because we only get one life. Why are you going to waste it? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the wrong one. Maybe I'm born into the wrong era. Maybe this era isn't for me. Because I don't understand people. I don't understand men nowadays. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe I should just be like every other guy. Just be on their phone. Be a nobody in life. Be lazy. Complain. Whine. Be a bum. Be like everybody else. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe this podcast is all wrong. Maybe I have the wrong audience. It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. Why people don't want to improve. And like I said, I never always had this mindset. Never had always a savage mindset. I didn't. I was like everybody else. And I grew into this savage mindset. I did everything every other guy would do. Going out with friends, not improve. I'd go to the gym, but I wouldn't train. I would be like every other guy, talk, be on my phone. Just like everybody else. I did exactly what every other guy does today. But I grew a savage mindset. I wanted to change. I wanted to get better. I was tired of doing the same exact thing and not improving. What's the point of living if you're not going to improve and get better? Otherwise, you're just wasting your life. I'm not saying to always have a savage mindset your whole life, 24/7. I'm not saying that. Like I said it before, I have two sides of me. One side is just who I am, my personality. It's great. Everyone loves who I am as a person. The savage side of me is when I'm at the gym, when I'm working on my businesses and trying to improve. At that time, I have that savage mindset. It's me versus the world. Because nowadays, the world is all lazy, complainers, and whiners. And I would destroy every single person with a savage mindset. This mindset isn't given to you. You have to earn it. You have to develop it. You have to train it. That's how it goes. If it was given to you, everyone would be a savage. Everyone would be a monster. Everyone would be a beast. But they're not. Why? Because they haven't either developed it or they just don't want to. They'd rather be like everybody else. instead of having the savage mindset and beating everybody else to get better. If you're a man and if you don't have that savage mindset, what the hell are you doing? You need to have it nowadays, now more than ever. We're living in a world where men are now considered weak. Men are considered warriors. Men are considered savages. They're weak. That's a damn shame. What the hell happened to men? Like I said before, I understand we're all built differently. Some people need to be pushed to get better. They need someone pushing them to get better. Others don't need anybody. They can do it on their own. And if you need someone to push you, I've said this before, I can be your accountability coach. You can do that by being a Patron member. And I will push you and tell you it's unacceptable if you're not being accountable on improving. And I will make sure you improve. Because you have no options. You're not going to quit. You're not going to give up. You're not going to fail. You're going to keep doing it over and over until you improve. No matter what. If it takes baby steps, so be it. But those baby steps will eventually add up to get you in the long run, to go the distance. The podcast is the lion. The lion is the king of the jungle for a reason. The lion is not the fastest animal. The lion is not the biggest animal. The lion is not the strongest animal. The lion is not the tallest animal. But at the end of the day, the lion is the most feared animal. So just think about that. Doesn't matter how you look. Doesn't matter your size. If you have a savage mindset, like a lion, you will be the most feared, the most respected, and you will be on top of the food chain. Just like the lion. I don't want to hear excuses on how you look, the color of your skin, the size of you, where you come from, your background, how you talk, what language you speak. Doesn't matter. Have that savage mindset and do what you have to do. Get better. Work hard. Train. Suffer. Go through torture and sacrifice to get what you want to in life. That's the only way. Because nowadays, guarantee you, majority of people will never do any of this. This podcast is not for majority of people. It's for the minority of people. People that want to improve. And I support you 24/7 if you're trying to improve. Being like everybody else gets you nowhere in life. Being different gets you anywhere you want in life. But you need to have a savage mindset. Because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be very difficult. But that's the best thing about it. It's a challenge. And that challenge is going to determine if you're going to be great or if you're going to be average. Whether you're up to the challenge or not, that's up to you. If you want to beat and destroy that challenge, I guarantee you will be successful in whatever you want to do in life. It's time to go to work. Time to have that savage mindset. It's time to do what you have to do. This world needs savages like you. While everybody else is a wimp, complains and whines, you will be that savage. You will hold it down, and you will take care of what you have to take care of. And others will look in you in awe and amazement because you're willing to do what others do not want to do, what they're capable of doing, but they choose not to. But you choose to. And that's why you will be different, will be a savage, and will be great. That's going to be it for this podcast. I hope people actually understand that you do need to be a savage nowadays. Now more than ever, because this world is tough, this life is hard. It will beat you to the ground. And whether you get up is up to you. Dust off your shoulders, go back to work, and be that savage that you need to be. So go out there and go kick its ass. Thank you guys for your time. As always, I appreciate it. And thank you, Patreon member Blade262, for being a Patreon member and supporting this podcast, which really does truly help. If you want to be a Patreon member, if you have questions, comments, or a topic you want me to go over for future podcasts, or if you want me to be your accountability coach and make sure you get what you need to get done and improve, you can do that by being a Patreon member. And the link is in the description below. As always, please like the podcast if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to keep up with new episodes. Leave a comment if you enjoy the podcast. And please share it with other people that can find it beneficial and that can actually help them as well. Thank you again. And remember, you need to have a savage mindset. Now, more than ever. Take care. Be the best version of yourself. And as always, change your mindset to change your life. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Change Your Mindset podcast. Be sure to tune in every week for a new episode. As always, change your mindset to change your life.